In this lecture, I am going to create user registration API endpoint in Node.js. I already created users collection in our database to store user data. Now I am going to create a new route file for authentication features inside our routes folder. So let's create a new file called auth.route.js inside our routes folder. And inside this file, I'll store express router to a variable called router, and we can get express router from express library router method. And then I will create our registration API endpoint. And route method will be post and URL will be our base URL slash register. And then let's get a callback function here, and we can get request and response as a parameter to this method. And for now, I'll return a JSON response with message register from this method. And then I'll export this router from this file. And then I'll import our auth route inside our main route file, and I'll store our auth route to a variable called auth route. Now I'll use our auth route to our Express app, and I'm gonna prepare auth to every auth route. That's why I'm providing slash auth here, and then I will provide our auth route. Now I will test our registration API endpoint from Postman. So let's open Postman, and then let's provide the request URL here. So our project is running on localhost 3000 port. So let's copy the base URL and paste it here, and then provide slash auth slash register, change the method to post, and then execute this endpoint. You see, we are getting our first endpoint. So this message is coming from here. Sorry, this message is coming from here because instead of get we use here. So I made a small mistake in the previous lecture, so we need to call get method here for our base route endpoint. Okay, now let's execute our registration endpoint again. You see, now we are getting a JSON response with message register. So now I will create a controller because we don't wanna write our registration logic inside our route file. So I will create a controller for this. So inside our controllers folder, I will create a new file called auth.controller.js, and from this file I will export a method called register, and we can get our request and response as a parameter to this method. And then I will remove this code from here, and I will paste inside this register method, and then I'll import our auth controller inside our auth route file. This will be our auth controller, and our auth controller inside our controllers folder. So we need to go back to a directory. That's why I will provide slash dot dot here, and then our controllers folder, and then our auth.controller.js file. Okay, we do not need to provide .js. Now instead of this callback, I will call auth controllers register method. Now let's test our endpoint again. You see, nothing is breaking. That means our controller successfully connected to our route. Now I'm going to create model for users collection inside this models folder. So let's create a new file called user.model.js, and we can create model with the help of Mongoose library. So let's check the documentation. You see, we can create the schema with this schema helper, and then we need to create the model and we need to export the model. So we can create the model with the help of express model. You see, we can create the model with the help of Mongoose model, not express model. So I already prepared some code. So first of all, we need to import Mongoose library inside our user.model.js file, and then we need to create the schema, right, with the help of Mongoose schema. So inside our users collection, there will be first name of type string and default value for the first name will be blank, and then last name of type string, and default value for last name also be blank, and email field should be string, and password field should be string. And I'm providing an object here with timestamp true. That means there will be created and updated field for every record inside our users collection. Okay, so I created the schema, then I'll create the model. So we can create the model with the help of mongoose model method, and we need to provide the schema and then model name. Okay, and then I will export this model from this file. Okay, now I'm going to add validations for our registration form fields inside this register method. So I'm going to use a package called node input validator for validations. So first of all, let's install node input validator package. So from our project root, I will run npm install node input validator. This will take some time. So node input validator package successfully installed. Now let's check the documentation for validations. So we can create validations for our registration field with the help of validator method. So first of all, we need to import validator, and then we need to we need to create new object with this validator, and then we need to call check method of our validator. So I already prepared some code for our registration form validations. So let's copy the code and paste inside our register method. Because we are using validator, that's why we need to import validator at the top of our auth controller. So let's import validator from node input validator. Okay, so I'm adding validation rules for first name field, last name field, email and password field. First name field should be required and mean of 2 characters and max of 100 characters length, and last name field should also be the same rules as our first name field, and email field should be required and it should be valid email address. Password field should also be required. Now I need to call validator check method, and validator check will return us a promise. So we need to await for this function to execute. So we are using await here. So we need to add async before the function because we are using await inside this function. That's why we need to add async here. Okay, and it will return us true or false. If validation fails, then it will return us false, and if validation passes, then it will return us true. And if validation fails, then I will return a JSON response with status code 422, and I will return the validation error messages. Okay, now let's execute our registration endpoint from our postman. You see, now we are getting validation error messages because we need to provide this field first name, last name, email and password through xwww form URL encoded, because we used body parser URL encoded to extend data form, to parse data from xwww form URL encoded. So we need to pass data through xwww form URL encoded in postman. So let's provide first name, last name, email and password one by one. So I provided first name, last name, email and password. Now execute this endpoint. You see we are getting JSON response with message register because validation passes and we are not doing anything here. So we need to store data to our users collection with the help of user model. So first of all, I will import user model here, and our user model inside our models folder, and then the file name is user.model.js. Okay, now I will create a user object. So I prepare some code, so I'll copy the code from here, and we can get first name, last name, email and password through request body because we are using body parser package inside our index.js file. You see we are using body parser, that's why we can get data from request body if we send data through xwww form URL encoded from postman. So I'm creating a new user object with the user model, and then we need to call save method, and save method will return us also a promise. So we will await we will await save method to execute, and then after saving user data to users collection, we will return a JSON response with message registration successful, and we will also return the newly created user data to this data key, and the status code will be 200. Okay, and I'll put this code inside a try catch block. So if any error occurs, then we'll return a JSON response with error message. So let's put this code to a try catch block, and inside this catch block we can get the error, and from this catch block I will return a JSON response with message, whatever the message we are getting from catch error. Okay, so let's try this endpoint from Postman again. Let's see what we are getting. Let's execute this endpoint. You see we are getting registration successful message, and let's check our users collection. You see we stored user data to our users collection successfully. Now let's check the password field. We are not going to store plain text password inside our users collection, right? So we need to hash the password. So how we can hash user password? We can hash user password with the help of bcrypt library. So let's remove this code from here, and then let's check bcrypt library. So we need to install bcrypt library first. So let's install bcrypt library from our project root. Let's run npm install bcrypt. It will take some time. So bcrypt library successfully installed. Now let's import bcrypt library inside our user model. So I will copy this code from here. Let's import bcrypt library here, and then I already prepared some code to hash user password during saving the user. So let's paste this code. So I'm calling schema.pre. That means before saving any record to our users collection, this function will call. Okay, that's why I'm calling pre, and then I'm passing save here. Okay, so I'm saving users record during registration. You see, we're saving the record. Okay, and this function will call before saving every user's record. Okay, and then I'm checking if user is not modified, then we are not doing anything, and if user is modifying his password, then we are generating a salt with the help of bcrypt library, and then we're storing hash password to our users collection. Okay, save this file, and now let's try to execute our registration endpoint again. Let's see what we are getting. So you see we are getting registration successful message. Now let's check our users collection in our database. Let's refresh the collection. You see we have another record with hash password. Now we are able to store hashed password in our users collection. Now let's delete this because we don't need this record. So let's delete this collection from here. And then if I try to register with this email again, it will register an account again, but we don't want an user to register again and again with the same email address, right? So we need to add a validation rules, unique validation rules for our email field. So with the help of node input validator, we can extend a rule called unique. So let's find unique rule inside our node input validator package. You see we can extend a rule with the help of node input validator and then extend method. So let's create a new file inside our helpers folder, because this will be a helper file. So let's create a new folder called helpers, and under this helpers folder I will create a new file called extend hyphen node hyphen input hyphen validator.js, and then inside this file I'll paste all of this code. Copy these lines of code from here and paste inside our extend node input validator file. So we are importing node input validator, and then we are importing mongoose library, and then we are extending a new rule called unique, and we are accepting value and arguments. So this will be filed. No, this should not be filed. This should be, I think, field. So you see, we are selecting the field. That's why we need to provide field here, not filed. Okay, let's change it to field, and then this code will work. So we are checking that if data is present inside our mongoose collection, then we are returning false from this method, and then if no data found, then it will return us true. So we are making this dynamically. Okay, we are getting the field dynamically through parameter, and we are getting the collections dynamically here also. Okay, now let's import this extend node input validator.js file inside our index.js file, which is our entry file. So let's import our extend node input validator file, and it is inside our helpers folder. And then the file name is extend node input validator. Okay, now we can use unique rule for email field. Okay, let's check the documentation how we can use unique rule. You see, we can use unique rule like this way. Now let's check our auth controllers email rule, and we need to pass unique rule for email field like this way. Now let's try to execute this endpoint again with this email address. Before that, let's check our database. Yes, we have a record with this email address. Now let's try to register again with this email address. You see, now we are getting the email has already been taken message. Okay, that means we cannot register with the same email again and again. That's why we added this unique rule inside our validator. Okay, so we successfully registered an user. In the next lecture, I'm going to create user login API. So stay connected.